Hello everyone, welcome back to Witch is the Moon for our final week of this season. Season 6 is coming to an end. This is our last video. Next week I will do the giveaway drawing and video, and that will be it for Season 6. Season 7 will commence probably sometime in mid-January. We are still working on the list of topics for that. We have quite a list and we're trying to pick through that and figure out what we're going to cover next season, so please do send us your suggestions. We love to hear them. As you can see, I've got my little hat on today and my hair is kind of doing its own thing. This week's topic, we are discussing book recommendations, and I have like 2 stacks of books here, and I have less than half an hour before my next client will be here, so I'm going to try to get through these thoroughly but quickly. Some of these I have done reviews on my personal channel, so if you wanted to take a look at those, I would do that. One of these I just did a review on for the biophilic alternatives, so you can also check that channel. But I'm going to try to cover these books and tell you what it is that I liked about them, what I didn't like about them, and where they kind of fit in my library. I rarely get rid of books. Once I have a book, I kind of keep it in my library because I find that I often tend to go back and look at things again in books. Sorry, I'm having an issue today. But I will use them as resources, so I like to keep them in my library. Before I get started, though, I just want to give a very special thank you. I was in a Yule swap with a group that I'm in on Facebook, and this was one of my Yule gifts. This is maca, as you can see. This handmade statue made by Blue Knight, or Nathan, as some of you may know him, and his partner Joshua, excuse me. Gorgeous, absolutely. I am loving her. I've always wanted some statues, and they've been so expensive. I got one for my birthday. It was one of the Morrigan that I wanted, but I love the fact that I have the statue of Morrigan in that aspect, and now I have maca. All I need now is a babe, and I'll have my triangatus. So Nathan, Joshua, thank you so much. She's absolutely stunning. I love her, and for the moment she's going to go there. I'm trying to figure out where I can set up a more permanent altar space that I would like to keep. I have a very tiny little bookshelf size altar space at my home for the Morrigan, and I'm thinking I might take her home and add her to that space, but I'm not sure because I don't have a lot of room. So anyhow, I want to get started on the book reviews. So whilst give me just a second, sorry. I'm actually going to stack these, I think, here on the floor because I need to go through them in order, and so I'm going to set them upright like this. Okay, first off, if you are new to the craft, Raymond Buckland's Complete Book of Witchcraft. This book changed my life. You can see I've tabbed it, labeled it, gone through all of the exercises. It's been highlighted within an inch of its life. This is an excellent resource for old practitioners as well as newer practitioners. This book has got lessons in it. It's got music. It's got references to other sources. It's got a lovely picture of the handsome Dr. Buckland on the back, and it is absolutely one of my keystone books. If anybody ever asks me about my path, I get them this book because it really opened my eyes to this path and the beauty of it, what it's really all about. He talks about pranic healing. He talks about making your own tools, developing a magical name, developing your psychic skills, reading, opening your third eye, chakra cleansing, making your consecrating things. I mean, this book really has it all. If you're also new to the craft, this one, which was gifted to me by my daughter's best friend's mother, this is actually a really good book. It's a little on the kind of light and love and light sort of side of things, but it's really actually a very good book. This is a hardbound version, and I really enjoyed this book by Skye Alexander. It's got a lot of excellent information. She has an open grimoire in there, which has all kinds of prosperity spells, love spells, keeping track of your spells, using tarot to increase the power of your spells, circle casting. I have my Gandalf thing in here, a spell to get a raise. Bitchy coworker spell, I love that one. I don't have any bitchy coworkers because I'm the boss, but nonetheless, it's really cool. And I highlighted this little section here because she talks about Texas pentagrams, the fact that a lot of Texans have a five-pointed star in a circle on their front door because it's a symbol of Texas. So we use those a lot. I thought that was kind of funny. But anyhow, this is also an excellent resource for somebody who's new to the craft. If you are looking for everyday wisdom, day-to-day practices, The Goddesses in the Details by Deborah Blake. Also very good. I enjoyed this book. I did not agree with everything in this book. And bear in mind, I rarely agree with everything I read in a book. I've never gone through an entire book and gone, on every single thing that was there. But I definitely like her perspective, and I think that it's a good book that covers a lot of different social situations you don't see discussed in a lot of other books. It's kind of a how-to, but it's not really a how-to. She talks about the basic tenets of witchcraft, being a witch, getting into real interpersonal relationships, raising children in the craft, and that sort of thing. And I think she has some good points that should be considered. If you are solitary, such as myself, another good book is Raymond Buckland's Wicca for One. Again, I'm not Wiccan, you all know this, but our paths are very similar. And he does give you a lot of excellent ideas like how to make your own book of shadows. I happen to buy mine, but mine is very similar to this. And I actually thought about taking his idea of using leather and kind of binding this with leather versus these little brass screws, because I'm always afraid I'm going to lose the little ends out of them. But he does have everything you need to practice solitary witchcraft on your own in this book. And again, anything by Dr. Buckland's pretty good because he's a seminal person in the United States for craft. Now, again, if you are Wiccan or you're interested in the Wiccan path, or even if you're not Wiccan but you want to learn a lot spiritually and you want to grow a lot spiritually, Timothy Roderick's Wicca, A Year and a Day, and his second book, Another Year and a Day, these are excellent, and especially this one. You have to go through this one first, or some of what applies in year two is not going to apply to you. Now, the formatting of these two books is extremely different. Oh my goodness, my book's getting torn up. This one has daily exercises. This one, he has exercises, but he bases everything on a lunation cycle. So it's a little more at your own pace, but you really still need to be kind of keeping up with it almost daily so that you are there. What I like about these books is he offers a lot of good meditations that are very mind opening, good for scrying. If you're looking for spiritual depth, these are the books to go with. And this one in particular, when you get into the second year, he goes a lot more in depth into some of the ceremonial types of magic that we practice. He talks about things more for protection, and it gets into a more shamanistic view, which I really, really liked. So that was an excellent one. I hear rumors that he's coming out with a third book, so keep that in mind. Now, in terms of developing sigils and coming up with new things to add to your sigils, The Magician's Tables is an excellent book. It's kind of a gold leaf book. It's very attractive to read. It's a hardbound book. I got this one for like $2 at Half Price Books. Hardbound and everything, has a little tab. But this book is really good for giving you symbols, lunar things, and ideas for adding to your sigil work. So if you're interested in sigils, this is a good one. I have found that in my studies on the Morrigan and getting to know my own deity more, these two books have been perfect. This one is really good for, it's a thin little read, it's a quick read, but I love Ms. Daimler's perspective. She talks about her own personal relationship with the goddess and ways in which she honors the goddess. Stephanie Woodfield does the same thing, but as you can see, it's a little more in depth. She talks about the history of the Morrigan. She talks about how you can honor the Morrigan in the various different aspects. She gives recipes for craft work, for meditations. She offers recipes for incenses and things like that, and this is an excellent resource also. So both of those are also very, very good. Sorry, I'm trying not to rush, but I am mindful because my next client is Jehovah's Witness, and so she would not like any of this. I can't afford to lose clientele right now. Now, another really good one is The Witch's Craft. Raven Grimassi is an awesome author, a great public speaker, a joy to listen to and to learn from. Again, My major problem with this book is that he kind of seems to indicate that witchcraft strictly stems from Italy, that nobody was doing anything like this at the same time, and the Celts were. So that's one big. But he does offer a lot of good information about practicing in the old way, why it's important to have a foundation, why it's important to have a central belief system to witchcraft, especially traditional witchcraft. So this is a very good one. This is where he talks about developing scrying mirrors and how to consecrate them properly, how to use them, making a witch's ladder. All of that is contained in this book. It's an excellent, excellent book for Raven Grimassi. Another excellent book is Llewellyn's Complete Book of Correspondences. Again, if you're interested in sigil work, or you want to use correspondences, or you need a substitute for some sort of herb that you do not have, its layout is a little confusing. It breaks things down in like the animal kingdom, plant kingdom, deities, and it is alphabetical by section. But if you're looking for something specific, sometimes it's a little hard to find it. If you want something that's going to correspond to, maybe you don't have Dittany of Crete, but you want something that's similar in characteristic. It can be a little difficult to look it up that way in here, but you can do it, and it's an excellent, excellent resource. So, very good. I haven't tabbed it out yet, but I will, I promise you. All right, a couple of other good resources. The Witch's Shield by Christopher Pinchak. Very good. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Pinchak. Excellent book. It comes with a CD, so if you aren't sure about the pronunciations, he gives them to you. Covers chants, and this is more about how to protect yourself psychically and magically. Excellent book. Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. A very good resource. I find it to be an excellent companion to Culpepper's Complete Herbal, because where this one covers the herbs themselves, what they look like, their description, again, it's written in Old English, or a form of Old English, so some of the reading is a little difficult, because remember this was written in like 1649, I think. Pretty sure 1649 was the last book he published. Yes, it was published in 1649, and no, 2 years later. This one, it was actually published in 1652. 1653, the year before his death. So 1653. So the writing is a little difficult sometimes to understand. Some of what he says is kind of confusing if you're not real familiar. If you've read Chaucer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it is an excellent, excellent resource. And the only thing is it's more medicinal. It focuses on the medicinal purposes of herbs, which is fantastic. But then you may want to know the magical correspondences. And Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs is an excellent companion to this book. I do know that this book has been updated recently with modern herbs in it, so that may be something to check out. Let's see. This one, The Complete Book of Oils, Incenses, and Brews by Scott Cunningham, the late Scott Cunningham. Excellent resource for different types of herbs, oils, and brews. Incenses, making your own incense. He tells you how to make incense sticks, loose incense. He tells you how to make flying ointments. I know a lot of you are interested in that. It is an excellent resource and a great recipe book for that. Some of that goes into my grimoire. Okay. The last book that I want to discuss is not particularly witchy, but one that I think is a good companion to the second year Wicca book with Timothy Roderick, but it's also one that I just think is important to us as human beings and as witches, and that is Fully Present by Susan Smalley and Diana Winston. This book is a life changer also. This book covers mindful practices, how to be mindful in your day-to-day life, how to practice mindfulness, how to engage with meditation on a deeper level, and it is absolutely excellent. If you want to be in the here and now, this is the place to be. This is the way to go with it. So this is an excellent book. I actually had to read this for one of my PhD classes in helping families with time management. This is an excellent book, guys. I cannot recommend it enough. All of these books that I've given you are excellent resources for information, and I'm sorry that I didn't cover them a little more fully, but as I said, I'm kind of short on time because this mom's going to be here and I need to get these books back on the shelf and some things out for this kid because she's into everything. But Fully Present is one that you would really, really appreciate. There's another one, I don't know if I can find it at the moment. It was a companion to this book. in my class. It's not really a companion to the book, but it's called In Praise of Slowness, and it's by Henri. That is also an excellent book, and I would recommend that you guys give those a read because it really brings home to you how in this digital age of instant gratification, that's sometimes not always the best thing for us. And so I think if you want to get deeper spiritually, this is a good way to go, and In Praise of Slowness by Henri is also an excellent way to go. So I hope that my book recommendations have been helpful to you. I hope that you'll go out and read them, or at least some of them, and grow your path. Thank you again for staying with us through season 6, and we hope to see you back for season 7. Thank you so much. May you all have a blessed Yule and a Merry Christmas or Yulemas or however you celebrate. May it be full of joy and love, and may 2017 bring you all peace, love, and prosperity. Blessed be. Guys, I'm back. Sorry, one more book that I absolutely must mention. It's a thick one, but it's a good one, and that's Drawing Down the Moon. This is The Witches, Druids, Goddess Worshippers, and Other Pagans in America by Margot Adler. Her father was the person who came up with Adlerian theory, Alderian theory, which is basically the theory of birth order. Excellent, excellent book. This book gives a good comprehensive history about her experiences. She's well researched. She has photographs in here. If you want to know about the history of witchcraft in America, this is an excellent, excellent book. So check this one out too. Drawing Down the Moon by Margot Adler. So she just passed recently. Excellent book. Give it a read. That's another one. Sorry for that, guys. Again, thank you so much. Blessed be, and peace now for the holidays.